Hello, mate. Good evening, and welcome back to your own YouTube channel, Speak Up with Sile. Thank you very much for stopping by. Today's topic is going to be an amazing and interesting conversation to have. Have you ever wondered if today's adults are literate or numerate as they were a decade ago? Absolutely right. So recently study finds that today's generation and adults are more literate or numerate as they were decades ago. A recent report by the OECD reveals some startling insights. Adults in many wealthy countries are struggling with basic skills that a 10-year-old might excel at. So what's going on? Let's dive in. According to the latest OECD data, adults aged 16 to 65 in 31 rich countries were tested on literacy, numeracy, and basic problem solving. The results, around a fifth of the adults performed at levels comparable to primary school children. Even more, working literacy levels have either stagnated or declined in several countries over the past decade. It's kind of shocking, isn't it? Seeing that now generations people are more literate than they were decades ago. I don't know what is the result find, to be honest. And I think in the same report they have showed like the richest, like the people, and especially the people from the developed country are more literate than the, you can say, like the developing countries. And I think it is true. And if you try to look at these informations, that how these peoples have become kind of literate or very interesting or very educated, the main reason is source of income. If you would go to the developed country, you would find the people's source of incomes are different than those people's incomes who are living in developing countries. So the main reason that you can find here, which is like income, money, and especially time for themselves. So nowadays in developing country, what happens, since I have, like since I was born, since that time till now, I can see very, very clearly that people spend their two-thirds of the time in just making money, which is even 1% of what Americans are making in our country. That's true. Just by putting 10 or 20 hours hard work, or maybe 12 hours at least hard work, they are able to make only $1 to $2. This is why they don't have time for themselves. They don't have a time for their, their thinking. They don't have proper time for their cognition skills. They don't have a time for their reasonings. They don't have time for their families. And let's talk about personality development. There is no such persons can develop their personality if that person does not have a proper time for himself or itself or herself. So the main reason that people have grown, become literate. I was able to complete schooling. I was able to complete my college, every single degree that I wanted to get, just because of time. I had a time. I had no tension on my burden. I had no tension on my shoulder except performing very well in academia. Except that I had no tension or no burden on my shoulder. If I had a burden of earning money while studying as well, I wouldn't be able to make it. I wouldn't be able to make it at all. So what I'm doing now, I am finding I had time, I had proper guidance, I had proper support. Just because of that, I was able to make it. And if I had 0% support of anybody, I could not make it. I couldn't make it ever. So first thing we understand, why is this happening, right? So one reason might be demographic changes. As older, more educated workers retire, younger adults may not always reach the same skill levels. Another factor could be education system focusing less on fundamental skills like reading, writing, and arithmetic, and more on software skills like teamwork or creativity. Nowadays, old schooling method has gone, and when you are going to the school and you are expecting from the schools to teach you something related to, like these skills, history, geography, most of them schools are becoming advanced now. Some of the schools have started teaching students what is the importance of being a software engineer, what is the importance of being a software scientist, or like this one, that one, that one. So there are so many scopes for you. If you're going to the schools now, they have stopped focusing on reading, writing, automatic, numeric. No, they are working on your soft skills like network, creativity, communication skills. This is why MBA, like colleges have been made for. And if you are going to such colleges, universities, or anywhere to just get your degree of MBA, and you would find they are working on your soft skills. Students are working on their communication skills. At my age, there was no person who had an idea what is it called to be a communicationist. What is communication skills? Nobody had a single idea about communication skills. Now, yesterday, I met a person who came to me and said, "Sir, could you please teach me communication skills?" That person age was like only 9 years. So nowadays, 9 years old kid is understanding the importance of communication skills. That person wants to excel communication skills, master communication skills. When I was a kid, people used to play cricket. As 3 o'clock rings, people get their bat and ball and just used to go to the ground and just play the match in crickets and everything on the ground for 1 or 2 or 3 until they are not tired, and then they would come back to their home, eat their food, read something a little bit, do their homework, and just spend the rest of the night sleeping. And if you would see before generation of ours or before generations, you would find they would have got a worse work than we did in the past. So they used to play rest of their time because there was no guidance, there was no parenting, scolding, there was no, like any kind of, you can say, proper pathway for them to go, because there was nobody there to show them where should they be walking down. That's the main reason. You would find the generation who came before us and the generations become before them, you would find that these generations were more illiterate than the current generation, and the upcoming generation will be more literate than us. May not be in the terms of soft skills, may not be in the terms of decency, may not be in the terms of etiquette, but they will be very much educated in software skills, gaming, YouTubing, this and that, Instagram. This, even today, 12 years old kid has an Instagram account. I made my Instagram account when I was 18, and I think it was seen clearly taboo to make any social media account before you turned 18. So if you go back to our childhood days, you would find being told by our parents you are not allowed to make social media account until you reach your 18. And if you're making your social media account after 18, that means it's clearly safe to use, which is absolutely false and myths. That is saying that we used to live under so many myths that was really indoctrinated by our parents, that was really edified by our parents to us, successfully transferred to us from their parents, and from the lack of understanding that they used to understand or fathom any kind of news so far from social media. Do you remember when we were a child? At that time, our parents used to tell us, you can't have your mobile phone before you clarify or before you qualify your matriculation. That means your matric exam. So before passing class 10, no such kids were allowed to have their mobile phone first on their hand. That was a reward for them, that if I pass class 10, I will get mobile. They are not studying to just get better marks. They're not studying that if I perform academically better, I might get an admission in a different and very wonderful college or prestigious college. They used to study, so their parents would hand over them an amazing smartphone to them, the amazing Android phone to them. This is the main reason they would have been studying so long back, and this is the main reason the reward was clearly different. Now the kids are working not for the phone, kids are working for their better self. That if I pass class 10, I will able to get an admission into this college. I will able to complete my BCA, MCA, MBA, this and that, whatever their goals are. They're working exceptionally amazing. And even nowadays, you would find the kids have no interest in studying. I have got a nephew. He is 8 or 9 years old. This person has zero interest in studying, but he's very creative. At this age, he has made some of the games by himself. He's very smart child. He has made some of the games by himself. He has done a lot of things by himself, and he has no interest in studying, but he has interest in a lot of creative ideas. He have got a massive creative ideas than me about YouTube channel. Some of the times he suggests me, how can I grow my own YouTube channel? That is absolutely, like lunatic. When I see that, I feel, wow, where have these kids gone exactly? Where they've gone? This is like way too much, and this is like way too far in terms of like advanced technology. They have mastered it well, and they have been doing it regularly. So I think this is a very wonderful thing that we can do. So now we have to understand, like, What can be done here? Education system needs to focus on making basic skills a priority from early childhood. For adults, governments and institutions could offer accessible lifelong learning opportunities. In some countries, this has already started to happen, but there's still a long way to go. But it's all doom and gloom. These challenges also bring opportunities. Investing in educational and skill development can uplift communication, create a more capable workforce, and ultimately improve people's life. What do you think? Are you prioritizing education enough? And how can individuals, educators, and governments work together to tackle this issue? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this discussion eye opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much again. Have a good night. Take care.